haven't watched it. End. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Scarred Thumb Podcast. It's David. We're back again another week, another podcast. This time, let's lead off with the newest story here. It's Autism Capital is this gentleman's name. Must watch. Japanese game developers are frustrated at the forced, ridiculous, I don't know about this UN-driven Globus agenda compliance they have to include in their game. But let's look at this set off. So, you guys have probably remembered. Oh, I forgot to get this. So, Dragon Quest. I covered this. If you've watched it, maybe you missed it. So let me bring this up. Dragon Quest as an HD remake. Dragon Quest, and well, there's some changes to some of the outfits. There's some changes to the outfits. Let me see. Let me bring up images here. Images. We can bring this up. Yeah, let's bring this up. Ba-bam. So, here we go. This is from, I've never seen this website. I just brought it up because it's on Google. But, MX doing, but look at this image right here. You have on the left, you have the normal sort of female warrior. Classic design from the now dead legendary manga artist Akira Toriyama, of course, of Dragon Ball fame. Basically, they changed the design to add a sort of shirt underneath the bikini and some shorts. So, just, really dumb looking. That's censorship, but and also, I almost thought it was done under protest. And, maybe I was right, because it just looks so stupid. Hey, good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Jack. Good to see you guys. So this was absolutely moronic. But here's them talking about it here. So this got people in trouble. There's a lot of buzz about the costumes. It became a topic of discussion because they weren't exactly the same as they were back then. Of course, here, showing the female warrior here. Yeah, there were various regulations in place. Apparently, it's not allowed to show too much skin. Well, I don't really intend to dig too deep into that. It's simply about the user immersing themselves in fiction and going on an adventure. I'm just going to read this, since if you're just listening, you may not, clearly don't understand the Japanese. Or maybe you do, I don't know. So, what's wrong with it? It's fiction. What's wrong with it? I don't really understand that either, is what he says. It's a game. It's fiction. It's a virtual experience. As long as it's enjoyable, I think that's all that matters. Well, these people are making a lot of sense here. They're sounding a little too based here. There's too much exposure. The age rating goes up. So, apparently a lot of this was like a business decision. We got to have an E for everybody. That means we won't be able to sell it as all ages product. Rules vary from country to country. When trying to sell widely, there's an issue of having to comply with the strictest regulations. We never even thought about that in the past, under the name of compliance. It's an absolute god, an evil disguised as good. There's no such thing as content that doesn't make everyone uncomfortable. Oh. And the question mark they don't quite understand, because beauty and ugliness, good and evil, are different for everyone. Yeah, especially for some people nowadays. They seem to have lost the plot when it comes to beauty. There are a few things that are absolutely must not be done. As long as you follow those, you're free to do the rest. So, there's a religious concept on the web, especially in America, that influences their approach to sex education, right? And this was apparently mistranslated. It's not supposed to be sex education. It's supposed to be like Puritanism. Their approach to compliance is really narrow-minded. When selling a manga in America, they had to be categorized by age group. For Shonen Jump manga, they couldn't be sold unless they were rated ages 13 and up. Because there's a risk of lawsuits, the company also has to get insurance. Doing business with such a ridiculous country is really frustrating. Because of that, Japan also gets negatively influenced. In Dragon Quest, you used to be able to choose between male and female character, but now you can't choose. I gotta back up a little bit. Now you can't choose between man and woman anymore. You have to label them as Type 1 and Type 2. Going off on the... I was really wondering, who's even complaining about this? Freaks, that's who. That's who's complaining about freaks. So this interview came out, and this kind of really reignited the debate. This was on September 30th. And, well, it didn't take them long for them to get struck down. Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horí's interview questioning forced gender ideology in Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake scrubbed from the internet. This is from that Park Place. So apparently they didn't like what he was saying, and they decided to remove it from the internet. In an interview alongside former Weekly Shonen Jump editor-chief Kazuo Torishima, Horii was asked about the changes made to the character designs, and specifically why more clothing was added. Translated, yeah, there's various regulations in place. Apparently, you're not allowed to show too much skin. So they're basically saying that the reason the censorship was put in place was so it could be sold as all ages. I guess Square Enix decided, if it's not like an E product, then, or maybe if it's like somehow it gets an M product label, that it's, it's not going to sell well. So we got to make it cleaner for the kids. Comply with various countries under the name of compliance. We already just covered this. Well, let's get to and talk about, male and female, another thing that they really don't like. So this is what they wrote in response. I would like to sincerely apologize for the incorrect English subtitles created by Mr. Kazuo Toriyame's statement. In the scene where he mentioned Puritan, it was mistakenly translated as sex education. This error was due to my mishearing. I deeply apologize for the inconvenience caused by all parties involved. So they're trying to play this off as like this was, just a cut. It was just cut from a larger thing for sensationalist purposes. There was mistranslations. Of course, the only mistranslation they actually mention is Puritan and sex education. That was the only thing they mentioned. They privated the video. Furthermore, so this was a Google Translate thing, so it may not be entirely accurate. This is from Vault News. In the wake of this claiming Vault News had mistranslated the video, on the afternoon of September 30th, Japan time, Mr. Musk said regarding controversies, because even Elon commented on it, recently regarding repost of overseas news site had reproduced a video with English subtitles mistranslated, again, only one thing, of a streaming program in which some of the members appeared to message and requested the performers to everyone. Well, yeah, this is definitely Google Translate. Regarding the live broadcast, defaming live distributions, Gamer Creator Special with Yubo and Masalito Kuso Broadcasting Station was held on Saturday, September 28th, 2004. Some of the performers were also misinterpreted on SNS. In addition, some of the performers' remarks were cut off and quoted as if they were expressing negative opinions about particular ideas or creeds, and spread far from the true meaning of the remarks and the original content in the message of the video. Sure, it seems pretty clear what they thought of it. In addition, malicious videos and transcripts were malicious. Videos and transcripts were quoted above being spread on YouTube channels and SNS accounts, and videos with incorrect English subtitles and articles using to spread not only domestically but also abroad. Then specifically claims such education Puritan. The station wrote, "We deeply regret the situation as a result of an unintended misunderstanding by the speakers and could undermine the truth not only of the performers themselves but also various places involved. We strongly protest against the actions that led to this situation. Furthermore, please strictly refrain from sending arbitrarily cut off videos that differ from the original content and message the entire video based on a mistranslation," it asserted. And also, above point of view, please refrain from following actions that are carried out in a way that disassociates from the speaker's intentions of the original content. We know what the speaker's intentions were. They're very clear with their words. This is obviously a bunch of lawyers speak like, guys, this video, what they said in the video isn't really what they meant. Ignore it. Don't share it. Please do not share this video. Look out. It makes us look bad. Square Enix is pissed. Don't share the video. So they removed the video. They're, hey, how's it going, JWB? Good to see you. We're not the ones. We're exporting love. It's these other people that are exporting hate. The sort of the leftists want to ruin even the Eastern video games. Square Enix, of course, is just they recently had their Pride stream. They have gone. They're lost. They're lost cause, I'm afraid. Hopefully with the recent developments, the last living members of a 3% team created Dragon Quest were interviewed at the game show. Let's check this out. There's like crib notes in response, complained about censorship, throwing out future design, expressed frustration with American puritanical views, and commented that male and female, type A and B, was stupid. Uploaded the clip. The woman who performed the interview posted a post complaining about the clip that had got viral in the U.S. Same time, deleted his entire Twitter timeline, posted an apology that appears to be drafted by a lawyer. Handling the interview, posted a statement claiming a 2-minute clip of a 6-hour stream, accusing the translation of being invalid as a user localized. No other translation were mentioned. So basically the same thing I said. This is a state of play right now. My theory is someone reached out to Square Enix Marketing, asked for they had a comment on Hori being cited by conservatives in America at all, which would have led Square Enix legal getting involved immediately. So basically, yeah, the lawyers came in and shut them down because this definitely. Oh yeah, I did include this. This is Square Enix right now. They have their own gay pride mascot, and they're having a pride live stream about the secret lies in the woods. Apparently, this little goody two shoes is some sort of gay game that is absolutely doing garbage. It had like 30 active players on Steam, so crap. The usual type of like gay garbage. That gets way too much. It's amazing. It just gets way too much press. It's like if you make a game that's gay, these people will go out of their way to show it off. This is the equality they want, where garbage games are giving way too much press for what they are. But hey, that's what it is. They're hoping that it'll translate to success, but it 100% will not, as we'll look into. Now, let's move on to Ubisoft. But just to wrap this up, it's obviously sucks that these guys were this is a couple of old dudes being honest about what they see in America going right now. We're having to work with them. Of course, Japan has their own issues. They have their own bunch of censorship laws that are dumb that they have to work around, but now they have to work around those, and they have to work around America's, and the whole thing just doesn't makes video games worse. And that's the sad thing, is you end up with shit like this that just looks completely moronic, just awful designs, make zero sense. And if Square Enix had any balls, they just say, "Hey, go with it. Give it, put whatever age rating you want on it. We're going to keep it the way it was, and we'll deal with it." And they probably make more money that way. But of course, this is what Square Enix does now. They have their own pride mascot, so they probably actually like this fact. Now they blame America. Well, of course, maybe Square Enix is infected with America, but this is the infection that's taken hold of. It's taking hold in Japan as well. That's ruining American companies, or Western companies, I should say. Just absolutely ridiculous. Speaking of companies that are infested with the gay agenda, Ubisoft, Tencent, and the Guillemot family are reportedly looking at a buyout for Ubisoft. Multiple games underperformed in sales this year. The company has lost more than half its market value this year. So this was coming out as news. Obviously, Star Wars Outlaws underperformed. This was funny. Ubisoft CEO Vez Guillemot, "Our goal is not to push any specific agenda." They came out saying this in an investors meeting, and a lot of journos were really uptight about this because they think that these Ubisoft is scared of these sort of cultural crusaders. Finally, let me address some polarizing comments about Ubisoft lately. I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is not specifically to push any agenda. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. Everyone is always a very loaded word. Japanese companies, hey, good morning, X-Runner. Japanese companies need that private equity money. Yeah. You mean our retirement funds, exactly. Otherwise, Guillemot stated emphasis on a player-centric, player-first approach. Wow, sure thing. Latest comments on somewhat on the conversation surrounding Assassin's Creed Kratos in July, issuing a controversial statement to its Japanese fan in which it apologized for promoting materials that have caused concern among its community. So if they're saying, yeah, we're not pushing any specific agenda, it took people like 5 seconds to prove that this is just a complete lie. This is from Learning the Law here, where it's like, in February, Ubisoft reaffirmed its commitment and kicked off a 3-year plan by signing La Ature Secure LGBTQ+A Charter, leading organization in France on the issue of diversity and inclusion of LGBTQIA people in the workplace, created for companies by companies. Formal framework and inclusion and discrimination policies in work environment. So here's him signing that. Oh, here's him in a cutout next to a drag queen. Well, that's pretty cool. Focus on queer representation in games. Ubisoft teams are no strangers to designing queer characters. For example, creating Osa, the first transgender operator in Rainbow Six Siege. That's exactly what Rainbow Six Siege players want. In your game where you're going in and shooting people, they want a transgender person. Why not? Why not? Absolutely. Applauds these efforts, and she knows companies could do more. They're not pushing any agenda. That's everyone. Because everyone wants a transgender operator. And of course, everyone wants a wheelchair operator. That's what everybody wants. Everyone being plural, just literally everyone. It's not working out too well for Ubisoft, though. Ubisoft admits Star Wars Outlaws underperformed. Ubisoft admitted its open world Star Wars has underperformed and announced a Steam release date alongside. Financial update from Ubisoft, a number of significant changes at the company, including the delay of the premier title Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I have a feeling Assassin's Creed Shadow is going to flop hard. This came alongside Star Wars Outlaws, had a softer than expected launch. Despite solid ratings, Metacritic 76, and user scores across first-party and Epic stores that reflect an immersive, authentic Star Wars universe, Star Wars Outlaws' initial sales proved softer than expected. Despite all that marketing, it didn't do well. Their biggest marketing campaign ever, flying people out to Disney and giving them a Star Wars experience or like whale spotting tours, just didn't work. In response, feedback has currently fully mobilized to swiftly implement a series of updates to polish and improve the player experience in order to engage a larger audience during the holiday season to position Star Wars Outlaws as a strong long-term performer. So they're hoping they can patch it up. They can patch up the game, make it run smoother, which some people did criticize the overall quality of the game, not just the sort of design choices. But I think overall it's not going to work. People just aren't interested in this this type of Star Wars Outlaws game. I think it has just some fundamental problems. And this is a screenshot that's from Endemon YouTube here. YT. This is again more who are we? This is just another like Ubisoft. They've got diversity and inclusion. They've got a whole page on it. They got mission statements. The Women Anonymous Research Group is a collective of leaders. Just, tons of, just showing off the tons of, I guess, woke crap. All this women, we have women in non-binary, like, memberships and resources. This is actually pretty standard in a lot of corporations now, where they have this stuff. They, throw in a partnership or, a group that makes them look good and likes them look more diverse. And, with the times, neurodiversity initiatives like Queer Bureau, a lot of it just junk. Absolute waste of time and resources. Why do games cost so much? And this is from Grums. This is just a funny headline. Video game maker Ubisoft in chaos after anti-DEI backlash. Assassin's Creed game maker delayed its biggest launch of the year, reduced forecasts and is facing calls to sell at what's being called an incel victory. By who exactly? I assume it's Chris Morris, the person that wrote it, wants to call it an incel victory here. It's an incel victory. Hey, we make shitty games with the characters. Instead of making, that Assassin's Creed game with, Japanese people that who would have thought that video game players really like Japanese culture? I never would have guessed, unless you spend time with gamers, 5 seconds with real gamers, go to any sort of convention and you see anime gaming, event, you see anime stuff everywhere. You see people that, play Japanese games. They're probably some of the biggest game makers, biggest console makers in the industry right now come from Japan. But yeah, who would want that? Who would want the Japanese person starring in it? Let's have a black guy. Why not? Why not? And then, of course, this article, things just really aren't good for Ubisoft. Ubisoft comes to us from PC Gamer by Andy Koch here. Ubisoft comes crawling back to Steam. Crawling back. Who took this picture of Gabe? It just works so well. Gaben on a yacht here, just hanging out, relaxing, while money just rolls in from Steam. It's crazy how far this has gone and how much money they spent. It's not. The amount of money that just gets thrown out on like dumb projects, like 400 million on Concord. Some people are saying like Skull and Bones cost 800 million. I don't believe it. I don't believe that number. But Skull and Bones apparently cost a lot of money too. And meanwhile, those poor hurricane victims only get $750 from our government. It's amazing what money just gets thrown out for stuff that people don't want. Hey, I have a few $1 million. How about hundreds of $1 million for migrants, billions for migrants or illegal aliens? Let's give them all that. But you know what? For people that really need it, you get crumbs. Enjoy your crumbs. So they had to go back. They had a deal with Epic Game Store and their own thing they decided, we'll put it out on Epic and our own kind of thing, and not Valve's. We'll ignore Valve, but you know what? Things aren't going well for them, so they have to go back and put it on Steam. So Division 2 was an Epic Store Games exclusive with extended partnership. Ubisoft Senior Vice President, Partnership Revenue, criticized Steam business model, and more specifically the 30% cut of sales it takes is unrealistic. Epic, by comparison, just takes 12. But cracks of exclusivity wall began to appear in 2022 with the discovery of the backend data indicating some Ubisoft were headed back to Steam. Just a few days later, Assassin's Creed Valhalla made the move 2 years after its original release. So they're like, hey, we need to get back onto Steam. Steam, yeah, they do take a lot of money, but you know what? It's the biggest storefront of all. So I guess when you're the biggest and you almost have a monopoly, just how many people use it. They've been struggling in recent years, softer than expected sales. So I think Outlaws is set to arrive on Steam November 21st. So they got to get it out before the Christmas holiday. Like, we need to... Steam is more dominant than ever, and in the end, they all come crawling back, is how they end this, which is very true. It's hard to ignore just the user base, the front end. Of course, it's pretty funny to see because Steam has that user tracking, just to see how well these things are doing. It's always funny to see it, and I think a lot of companies want to kind of stay off of that. But God bless Steam. God bless Steam for showing us just how unpopular a lot of these games are. Thank you, Gaben. Sweet Baby Inc. even said their goal is to... Yeah, exactly. They said their goal, I think, was like to burn the industry down. And this is always like the thing that you see a lot of these activists do. Like, oh, it's just built by... It's like same thing with America. They talk about how they talk about America. It's like, oh, it's built by straight white men. We need to disrupt it. We need less of those straight white guys. And oh, we need to burn it down. You know, we need to take down the structures of society because they're keeping our gay, lame games down. They would have sold 1 million. Dustborn would have sold millions. Concord would have sold millions, if only those straight white men and their power structures were in place. That's definitely it. That's definitely it. Let me take a drink here as we move on to kind of an interesting story. Actually, it's not much a story, but let's look at this video. Oh, well, I'll take a drink here.
Yo, 女王様。
こんにちは。娘思いの父さん。
So this is Dizzy from Guilty Gear. This is her reveal. She actually calls Soul her dad, which is kind of... I don't know a lot of Japanese, but Otosan is a father. I think she refers to herself... Musume is like girl. I think she refers to herself as her daughter. But this is Dizzy's new design, which is... Yeah, a lot of people are kind of complaining about it, and I definitely understand the complaints, but I think there's still a lot of femininity in it, which is still quite nice. I like her design. This design, some people would call it like over design. It's too much. I like the flowers, but I could see that criticism as well. So this is let's here see some. This is Packer Girl here. Complaining, and she sort of lays out the designs here. This is her original design. Shows a lot of skin. This is her Dizzy original design, which is great. I think, it peaked right here. X2 is just, I think, the peak of Guilty Gear. It's just going to continue to go downwards. Right here. So it's obviously showing, again, a lot of skin. And then this is where gaming... This is probably gaming's peak years. And then, so this is the Zerd. She gets covered up a bit more. less little like shirt, still showing off a lot of cleavage, still got the bikini bottom, showing off a lot of leg, a lot of thigh, very nice. And then here in Zerd, she is covered up. The wings have become more angel whitish, but they have sort of this sort of black design. And people don't like the fact that she's covered up, just completely covered up, just showing a little bit of leg. I mean, you could make the argument that she's married now. She married Kai. She has a kid. As a queen, she has a bit of a different outfit compared to. She's the queen of a country, which is just how insane Guilty Gear plot is. Then she's ended her hoe phase and she's gone to her trad phase now. Those wings look like they were designed lazy. Yeah, they are a bit more simplistic now, rather than the sort of one of the things that I really liked about Guilty Gear was it always had these really like out there character designs. Like Dizzy has like a evil wing and a good wing and a tail. It's always like really weird. Of course, obviously a rockin' body too. And now it's just been covered up. It does definitely seem a lot more puritanical than before. This was Azuka, and I don't know what Vestige is. They've had a lot of like weird spin-off projects. But this is kind of interesting because I actually like the design of the character. I still think it's very cute. It has a cuteness to it, but definitely covers her up. So I'm on the fence about this between wokeness and just changing. But I think if you look at the characters overall, I think they're a lot more conservative in Strive, which is kind of shows that it might have been just more conservative, more of a. Let's see. Yeah, just overall, it seems a lot of these characters are more covered up than they used to be. Like I mean, like you look at. I have no idea where I lost my place here. Oh, here we go. Like this is Abba. This is Abba's Strive design. Let me say Abba in Azuka. And her Azuka design. Let's see. Oh, don't show me. Show me the Azuka design. These effing websites. Let's see. Open. Link a new tab. Maybe not the best. Why am I slowing down here? Opening too many tabs. My computer can't handle it. So this is her. So I mean, she's still kind of covered up, but it does seem like it goes down a little bit more. There is, so I think that in general, it is kind of being more conservative with its character designs, which is sad. Sad to see a company getting that was like built around rock. I guess maybe it is. Maybe it's fitting. Maybe it's fitting that that this sort of like game based around rock is slowly becoming a more and more losing more and more of its edge. It sort of follows the same arc as a lot of rock is nowadays, and just becoming less and less more and more mainstream and less on the edge of design. Well, let's move on. Let's do some wholesome stuff. Some Nintendo. So this is Echoes of Wisdom. This is just a fun fact, but Echoes of Wisdom, the first Zelda game where Miyamoto is not in the credits, and absolutely no involvement in this project. It's amazing. amazing. Miyamoto has always been, of course, kind of created the Legend of Zelda series, but now that Eiji Aonuma is sort of the guy looking after it. But that's pretty crazy. So Echoes of Wisdom, a fantastic game, but Miyamoto not involved at all. All right, let's talk about more on Miyamoto though. He's says AI in video games. I think this is kind of older, that they're not going to use AI and want to go in a different direction. But you know what? One thing Miyamoto has been involved with, he's been doing a lot of other stuff that isn't video game related. And this is him in the Nintendo Museum Direct. This museum is awesome. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but this is Nintendo Museum. So this is amazing. It shows off, let's see, we'll scrub a bit. Look at this. Look at this showroom where it just shows off every game that Nintendo's made. Let me go to theater mode here.
はい、ここは2階の展示フロアです。
There's a second floor. Look, giant controllers. Just every Nintendo first-party game they made.
2階は
Every
任天
system
堂が
they
創業
did.
以来発売してきたさまざまな製品を、
Here they are showing off the
当時はこんな
Famicom
風に
and
日
the
本と海外で
NES
デザインを変えて売って
from the
いたんで
different
す。
regions.
名前も違って
They even
モー
show
ション
off
を使
their
った遊びの進
exercise
化を
stuff.
見ていただけます。
Look at this Wii Fit. They got They made an exercise bike. They got the I played on the Power Pad. You remember that track and field game for the NES that they had? That was awesome. I
これ
got
はコピラスといっ
a
て
Daisyo
ジアズ
copy
式のコ
machine.
ピー。
They made all sorts of weird stuff. They made board games, of course. They started out
15
as a company making cards, trading card games. Not trading cards, but it's a card game called, I think it's
皆さんもこのモニ
Harafuka.
ターの上に乗って
They have interactive exhibits here where you
百
stand
人
on
一首を
top.
遊んでいただくことができます。
I don't know what this game is,
スマ
but
ー
it
トフォ
looks
ンと
kind
組み合
of
わせ
cool.
て遊びますよ。
Use a smartphone
こ
to
のよ
play
う
with
に
it.
やつコインが入ってるんです。ウルトラマシンが体験で
This
きるん
was
です。
released in 1988. They had a little like batting machine. They made toys like this. Nintendo's done a
ウ
lot
ル
of
トラマ
stuff.
シンはピンポンの玉のようなボール。ウルトラマスミには
So
ア
you
ッ
go
プ
in
のが
these
違
little
うの
batting
で
cages and you have to shoot. You have to hit these ping pong ball type of things at objects.
お好みの部
And I don't know if you hear in the background, you can hear the. This is the theme that in Zelda and the shooting range that they play.
屋を選んでください。では早速体験してみましょう。
In Ocarina of Time, I believe.
床にウルトラ
This was like the Lon Lon Ranch theme. Well, like you raced with Epona, but also it played in a lot of like the shooting gallery type of thing, areas.
マシンが置かれているのが分かりますか？では早速打ってみましょ
Miyamoto's gonna take some swings here. Let's do it. And of course, they've got a little like stuff, a little pigment on the stuff, a lot of just designed with a lot of cool things. Watch it. Feet. He's really swinging. They have Mario and Luigi on the thing that, so when you hit it, it makes moves. And the copier starts shooting stuff out. That's pretty funny.
う。部屋の中にあ
Very
る
objects that you hit with the ball. And then they got a
Nintendo
shooting
は
range where you can use the Super Scope or the Leica. Apparently,
1970年代に
1970s, they
レーザークレイ
reinvented bowling alleys and they had
というボーリン
turned
グ
them
場を改造し
into
た業務用のシューティング場を
laser
展開して
clay
いました。
commercial shooting galleries. It's kind
こ
of
のレー
funny.
ザークレイを今の技術で体
They
験できるよう
didn't.
に
I wouldn't imagine Japan would love shooting as much as they
作
do,
ってみ
but
たのがザッパー
Not as much as us, at
SP です。最大13人まで一緒にプレイできるので、今日はそして
same. You can see the Super Scope, but look at that view. Just a giant screen where you can shoot different things. Very cool. You have to
マリオ
avoid
や
shooting
ピーチを打
Mario
ったらダ
and
メですよ。
Peach and Luigi.
クッパ超巨大
And
で
this
す
is。also really cool where you use a giant controller. There's a game room where you have to use giant controllers where you play with two people. You have to team up with two people to play with a giant controller. Of course, they have different ones. One are using the Wii controller. One uses the N64 controller. That's just amazing.
いかがでしたで
And then, of course, they have. This is it, Hanafuda. This is so they have like different exhibits you could do. This is from their site. They got a love tester, Game and Watch. And is that motion control? Oh, using your own shadow. So this is the kind of stuff Miyamoto's been working on, right? To use the Ultra Hand to grab balls and put them in pipes. The Super Scope. And the Hanafuda stuff, where you could draw your own. You basically get to paint your own cards. And then they have this like interactive table set up to show you how to play it. Apparently this is what they originally started. Nintendo started as making these cards. Oh, very cool. Of course, they got the cafe, which is a Nintendo themed, where you can make your own burgers. Look at the stained glass. Oh, I meant to go back. Show me the stained glass. Look at this Zelda and Link stained glass window. It's amazing. Amazing stuff. But this is the kind of stuff Miyamoto's been working on. He's not making games as much. I guess he's involved in Pikmin Bloom, but he's kind of heading off a lot of this new opportunities that don't necessarily involve games, like the Mario movie. That was very, very cool stuff. I kind of want to go there someday to the Nintendo Museum. Let's move on. We're going to talk a little bit about Minecraft. Played a lot of Minecraft on this channel, so I'm almost remiss if I didn't talk about Minecraft. Apparently they had a live. This is like their 15th. It's so disappointing because it's like their 15th anniversary year. Their Minecraft live, rather than people are expecting some sort of big announcement, something huge. Oh, they're going to have a big, like announcement, or the end is going to get a remake, one of those big updates. Announce something crazy for hype. And basically they've said, no, we're not doing those anymore. We're just coming out with smaller. So people, people won't be disappointed. We're coming out with smaller updates that are come faster. People won't hold us accountable for how long we take to get the updates out. That makes us feel uncomfortable. So here's Pale Wood. Here's the Pale Garden. That's kind of a cool idea. It has a creepy wood that if you turn your back on it, it goes and attacks you. The pale wood actually looks nice. It's like a white wood. But a lot of people are not... and there's always like this conversation. You have guys like Doc MC who are disappointed with the update. Mob has no drop. No point of being in the game, in my opinion. Should be a general rule. If no drop, other worthwhile gameplay loop is needed. Why would players seek out a mob that does nothing more than once? Which, is true. They're like, oh, they'll add some more. They'll add some more in it, probably. And you always got these guys like, this fucking sucks, and then literally the coolest thing ever. Like, oh my gosh, I love Minecraft Live. The one thing I hate about the Minecraft community is it's really filled with like a lot of toxic positivity. Where it's like, oh, wow, it's so great. Minecraft's awesome. New stuff. It's so good. Like, this stuff is like bare bones nothing. It's like one thing. Like, how are you going to get excited about that? I mean, it's kind of neat, I guess, but it's nothing like super hype. As they came with their 15th anniversary and they did nothing. Nothing to like celebrate the game. And nothing to really get people back into it and excited for it. It's just like, here's a little update. At least we'll get it out. It's like one wood type. That's really the most exciting part about it, is how good the new wood type looks. You got a little like decorations, but there's really not a lot in terms of gameplay to do. It's really just decoration. The mob doesn't have a drop, but if you complain, you're just a hater type of thing. Oh, wow, this is for free. It's a 15-year-old game, and they're still giving us free updates. Like, oh, cool. Yep. Microsoft is a charity organization, sure. This it's kind of like out there. I just saw this. Like, I like Mudang, super cute. Pygmy Hippo. I'm kind of annoyed that it's gotten so popular that like you have white women making TikToks about it, and you have companies making memes about Mudang, and so it's like, oh man, Mudang was super cute, and now it's just like a fad at this point. Oh, I'm at my Mudang shirt. Like Mudang is super cute. I really like it. Really like Mudang, but apparently he's caused massive inflation in Final Fantasy XIV, with the Hippo Calf minion spiking in price from 17,000 gil to almost 300,000 gil in a matter of weeks. Everyone wants the Mudang, the baby hippo in Final Fantasy XIV. This is the kind of impact he's had. But damn it, it's always a shame. It's like, Mudang was super cute. I like it. And then it's like, you just see it everywhere now. It's like, oh, man. If you repost Mudang pictures, people think you're just some sort of on some sort of bandwagon now. It's not as cool anymore for a hipster like me. But still, the hippo's cute. On this, man. Halo! How far you have fallen. Now you can play Halo in third person. Have you ever wanted to play Halo, but you're like, man, I like Fortnite. Well, now you can play Halo in third person. You can have the Halo. What's with this fucking sliding? Like, when I looked at Halo and I saw this slide, I'm like, what? Just fuck off. I'm glad Halo's dead. This game doesn't look the same anymore. They got boosts, air dashes. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Boom. He's hitting people with his. What point is he gonna start building stuff, crafting thing, walls and stuff, putting his opponent? It does make it look like Fortnite. I gotta say. We got ourselves some Halo Fortnite view. It just seems like something was lost here. I don't know how to quite put it, but seeing Halo, a game that was just honestly, fuck Halo, to be honest. This sort of console FPS, like I liked playing Halo back in the day, but I feel like the way consoles are sort of infected first-person shooters may not have been for the best. Now it's like, now they're just trying to, hey, can we get some of that Fortnite money, please? Well, we lost our servers, our dedicated servers, because, you can't have those on Xbox or PlayStation. So if it's not PC exclusive, it rarely has it. Yeah. Just something. We got to have crossplay, even though like it almost ruins every single. I swear, like everything that has crossplay enabled almost always is shit. It's always shit. Like I had to turn crossplay off. Space Marine 2 had terrible online connectivity. And I turned off crossplay and it was still shit, but it was slightly better. Anyway, enough of my old man rant. Let's move on. Again, a little more positive note here. Konami is so back. This from Pirate Nation. This is her picture. This is from Tokyo Game Show. Take a look. Got some booth babes. They still exist in Tokyo. This is a Sakura Complex. This is a Tokyo Game Show 2024 booth babes. And cosplay quite welcoming. So we got sexy Toad Lady here. This is, I believe, Withering Waves. This is also Withering Waves. This is the Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. This is some, I don't know who that chick is. Fatal Fury. Some Pirate Lady. But I mean, you look Pow World. You got Pow World here. Monster Hunter Wilds looks really nice. So I got the whatever faces the handler here. I don't know who that is, but yeah, just a general. They have booth babes in it. They have booth babes here. Samsung, look, they got a girl here. Sexy Japanese girls here, and they got cosplayers. It's amazing to see. All these cute girls here. We can't have this in America anymore. They don't let us have this thanks to white women. White women have ruined this for us. Thanks, ladies. Her face is a little fat, but still, I appreciate it. Cute Japanese girl on a car. Who doesn't like that? Again, a bunch of cosplayers. Part of me thinks that the cosplaying angle might be a way to get them back into shows like this. If they even have shows. Of course, they have an Okama. They had to show one Okama here. A chick cooking food. You got a sexy Monster Hunter cosplayer cooking some delicious food for us. There's tons of these babes. But I kind of think cosplaying might be the way to kind of get it back, since there are a lot, they seem a lot more remiss. Like if it's just like a company hiring women as models, it's, that's kind of offensive. They're exploiting women. But I mean, if you have women that are doing it on their own, they're independent women making money on, through their sex work, basically, then, that's empowering. So why not have those? Why not have cosplayers there? That'll work, right? Who knows? Probably not. If it continues to be, right now, I think the biggest show that I think that Kinley puts on, I forget what it's called, but it's just, giant shill fest, very corporate. I just don't see the advertisers thinking it's friendly enough for the American audience. This was a story that happened last week, but I covered Zelda, but I'll cover it. I'll still go over it. This was interesting. So Gadot was an open source engine that has a community manager that decided to ban everybody. And you'll never imagine that this person is unprofessional and banning people like crazy. Some transgender she, they went banning everybody, even paying customers. Their Discord started banning people. Apparently, game engines are woke now. Well, then we won't complain. Rainbow emoji. Show us your woke.games below. And then he showed how to rob a gas station in the game. And then he got blocked. The game. This is a real game I used to speedrun. And then, of course, here's the Grums. Gadget community managers went on political purge and ban spree. So they're saying, I think if you go take a look at the delusional weirdos on Twitter calling people child abusers and calling for the eradication of queer people, you might be surprised to learn that many, if not most of us, do not want them here, actually. Even if they are good at programming. Literal white supremacists currently merging pull requests on Reddit projects, Redot projects, is more than welcome to babysit them. Yeah, so the usual thing, if you don't totally support queer people, then you hate queer people and want them to die. So you need to get out. There's always that line that they like to take. So this is the other thing. This is the CEO, which I think is kind of interesting, of Redot here, which people are like, you know what? The CEO seems like a good guy. So, let's take it easy on him. I believe deeply that any political discussion that puts labels to a group of people is one that should not have started. As most people on this planet, no matter their political compass, seem strongly to disagree with me, I prefer to entirely stay out of politics. I don't want to be political. This typical thing, I'm against certain things, but very wishy-washy. But really, a lot of this politeness, I find, is just a cover because I think most conservatives, right-leaning people are pretty. They don't like to cause conflict. They're not particularly deranged or antisocial. So they're appealing to politeness is a good way to disarm them. Let's just be polite. Let's be civil about it. Meanwhile, in the back end, they do everything they can to ostracize you. and talk crap about you. But I mean, this is what happens when you push them far enough. Will Chill from, this is the same guy, Will Chill from X, this is on Mastodon, Twitter until after the U.S. elections. Almost all the hate got over the weekend was pretty much people who have no clue what a game engine is, what Gadget is, or what a FOSS/community-made project is. Most of the ones who did were usually the haters, or the usual haters. Checking profiles of haters, majority pro-Trump people with weird religious symbology, or people with arbiters/obsessions for anime little girls. Sometimes I feel I am too innocent for this world. Sure you are. So basically, just, he doesn't like Trumpers. He doesn't like religion. He doesn't like anime, essentially. You're trying to, paint them as, some sort of weirdos. He's too innocent for this world. Nah, you're just a cuck. Juan Lintinsky. So it's always this fake politeness that you just let this happen. And they've already had a fork of this, I guess, open source. You can fork it to make it a different thing. So Gadot, someone forked it to make it Redot. Hello, everybody. We just want to give a short update on the situation. Our Discord had to pause, join temporarily because we had a massive influx of bad actors and trolls. Devs are working and vetting volunteers. We knew that this would blow up when a lot of people would naysay and hyperfixate on small thing that happened. They want us to fail. We have not formally launched the project. That happens this Friday. So, they forked it because, hey, if Gadget wants to do this stuff, ban people, talk shit about people that have a different political view, why not? Why not make your own engine, as they always like to say? But then, of course, they try to attack you and get your stuff banned the second you do. So that happened. So this is pretty amazing to see how quickly that game engine got negative press simply because they hired. Well, actually, it's not surprising. When you hire someone like this, your game's probably going. Your project is probably going to go sideways. So they let this person run wild, and they worked to burn the project to the ground. So good on them. Good on them. Hope they all go bankrupt. Good on Redot too. I hope they do well. So here is another story that was kind of iffy. This again kind of iffy. Which let's just look at the video here. Very beautiful scenery here. Looks very nice. Love the visuals. No, this doesn't have the big reveal on it. It doesn't have the big reveal. Where is the... So the big reveal of it is... Again, beautiful visuals. Let's go to blah, blah, blah. Oh, there we go. Oh, X video is so good at... It cannot scrub backwards to save its life. But anyway, the protagonist is a woman. As kind of a big reveal that they didn't show here. Ghost of Yo Tai. That's a woman. Also, the voice, the actress for it is some sort of lesbian man-hater activist, which people were kind of iffy about. A lot of people liked the Ghost of Tsushima. Sucker Punch explained why they chose not to continue Jun Sakai's story from the Ghost of Tsushima sequel. We want to continue to innovate to create something fresh but familiar. We looked beyond Jin Sakai's story on the island of Tsushima and shifted our focus to the idea of the ghost instead. At Sucker Punch, we love origin stories. We wanted to explore what it could mean to have a hero wearing a ghost mask and uncovering a new legend, which I guess she doesn't wear the mask for long, so you can see it. This led us to the Ghost of Yotai, a new protagonist, a new story to unfold, and a new region of Japan to explore. So, again, they kind of... Some people are saying, all right, this game, what's wrong with it? There's nothing wrong with this having a woman as a protagonist. That doesn't necessarily make it bad. Which, is true enough. True enough. Personally, I don't think... I don't like the idea of just sticking a woman in a masculine role, like as a samurai or something, even though there were, some female warriors. There's some history of it. They're never as good as a man, of course, but you have it there. Like, does it add anything? Like, will she be feminine at all? Will there be something, might be the downfall of the game? Of course, the actress had already, basically...
Let's talk about the latest.
Let's see. Let's go talking action. I don't want to watch a whole video. I was just trying to find stuff on the actress. But yeah, she's a super activist. But speaking to the game itself, I'm not 100% sold on the idea of... actually, maybe I already have it. I just don't like the idea of sticking... Why put a woman in a masculine role if there's not going to add anything to it? The idea of her being a woman just doesn't make it better or different. A lot of times it probably just makes it worse. We'll see. We'll see how it ends up. That's all So it's kind of like if they're doing it again just for the sake of doing it, it is messed up. But like in something like the Echoes of Wisdom, where they put Zelda as the protagonist, there was a clear reason, and I think it did make the game better, because using the echoes, when you have to limit the sword and shield, the direct confrontation of the enemies, having a woman in that place, I think works. It functions, I think, in a lot of ways better than having Link, who is traditionally, a sword and shield user, fighting enemies directly. Having Zelda kind of hide behind or sort of outthink enemies using echoes works really well. And I think better than, it would have if Link was the protagonist. So that works. So that's a good use of it. They did a lot of work to make sure that worked. I don't know if they're doing the same amount of work here with this. Again, she doesn't look very feminine. She basically just looks like sort of like a typical samurai. Let's see, former Sony exec is a niche gamer by Brandon Lytell. Or Lytell. If you don't like it, don't buy it. So there's a former Sean Lydon took to Twitter to address criticism against the female protagonist, as well as critics of the main character model. Announced user criticized the game for both featuring a male protagonist and also for Arika Ishii being involved in this part. I like the fact that people are calling that out. I think you should make activists as unhireable as possible. Just make them completely toxic. If someone looks at these people's Twitter and they see like a bunch of Gov is hosting right on. For people that see this stuff and like they see a bunch anti-Trump, rainbow flag, queer stuff in this actress's Twitter, they immediately like, whoa, we got to pass on that. We got to pass on that. Force these people to hide that, or just in general not do it. So there's Mighty Keef, who's a complete loser, but he's replying to it. Sean Lydon, it's a game, it's entertainment, a story a team of creators believes in. They want to make this too. It's a game. If you don't like it, don't buy it. In fact, why not make the game you want yourself? Why not? Why not just make the game? Just make the game. Of course, he's got rainbow flag, trans flag, American flag, Japanese flag. Sure. He's got all the flags. Again, mentally ill, as usual. Stars a Japanese woman, because of course it does. Of course, you just talk about things getting replaced by women. Forced girl boss narrative. We'll see. I mean, the problem is, like, normally this would be exciting. I think a lot of people don't mind having a female protagonist. It's just lately, it always comes with a bunch of trappings that are crap, where it's, you don't get to appreciate anything feminine about her. They're like, all the femininity is removed, like Star Wars Outlaws. All the femininity is removed. It's basically, she's just playing the role of a man. It's just a female playing the role of a man in a game, which doesn't add anything to it. Just makes it lamer. Because if you're going to do that, why not have a man? It's funner for the majority male audience playing it to play as a man. Some fun clips actually here. Let's again, Nexus mods, always great. Hey, you want to make Geralt black? That's cool. Oh, you want to make a black person white? You get your mod removed. Uh-oh. You can't do that. It only works one way. Diversity only works one way. Strange. How strange is it? Oh, this is yeah, we'll end on some cute. Look at this animation. This is super cute. And this is why I'm super excited for Monster Hunter. It's coming out this next February, 2025. Sharpening the stone here. Oh. The cat seems, I love this. I love the they always do so good in the Palico outfits with the little, like, blonde bob cut type of thing. Oh, she says, oh no, they're cut. That's what Paul. Oh, it's just joking. And they push. I love the animation. There's such character to it. You can kind of see the relationship with the. I was just messing with you. I didn't cut myself. I was like, God, get out of here. And I'm worried for a second. Just, stuff like that. This just shows, like, the level of detail and love that they have for it. And, like, games like this, they always show quality like that. Or just something totally unnecessary to do. It doesn't have anything to do with the main game, but other than to just be cute. But they throw it in to just to help you enjoy the game. That's all. And then this is something Nintendo put out. Zelda throughout the years. Skyward Sword has to be. I think that's like the only Zelda design I don't like. Oh, Breath of the Wild, she looks beautiful. Of course, you gotta show off Echoes of Wisdom, too. Since it's your latest game. I mean, hats off to Nintendo for sticking with a blonde, blue-eyed princess. It's a rare thing to see nowadays in our modern culture. At least Japan still likes white people. As much as the West hates white people. Japan still likes and enjoys the blonde, blue-haired leading lady here. And again, Exorcism, super cute. But yes, thank Jack has well, let's see here. I'll get my redirect going. That's it for the video. We'll just end on a pleasant note. Some wonderful Echoes of Wisdom stuff. Let me edit, and I will link to. We got Post Zero. Can I get me a video here? What the heck? Can I get myself a video? Where's the share? Why didn't that work? Search for videos from other channels. There we go. So I will redirect to that. I'm probably not going to be on joining for that one. I got a lot of stuff going on. Unfortunately, I've got there's another hurricane that could potentially hit near where I live. It's definitely going to interrupt my work, which means I could have more free time or less free time. I just have to clean up, or like there's a lot of flooding. Who knows? It's not. I'm not looking forward to it this week. So we're going to have some intermittent weather. We'll see how things go. But thank you guys for joining me. Really appreciate it. Please like if you haven't. Subscribe if you're watching this. And enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you later.